Nate Anderson. Nate is the Executive Director, Concerned Veterans for America in Virginia. Nate, great to have you, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, Nate, tell us what CVA is up to in Virginia. What have you guys been working on? And I also understand you've got a new endorsement to roll out. Tell us.
We do. I want to tell you about that. So CVA has endorsed Nick Freitas for the Virginia House of Delegates in the 30th District. We think that he is a strong leader in driving policies that allow people to thrive. He's also a military veteran coming from the military. And fun fact here, he and I share the same military background as Green Berets in the U.S. Army Special Forces. We do, yeah. But as a veteran, you've seen that strong leadership really manifest itself since he began serving in Virginia in 2016.
All right, so tell us, CVA doesn't do, Concerned Veterans for America doesn't do a lot of endorsements. Nick Freitas is running a write-in campaign. Why'd you only pick one?
Well, we are selective, and that's intentional. You know, we don't do this on a whim. We do this for policy leaders, for representatives who are going to join a coalition in driving policies that make people's lives better. And I know that this circumstance is unique, but we're going to double down our efforts and support Nick Freitas because he is a thoughtful leader on policy within the General Assembly. And we believe that if he is elected, he's going to continue to be a champion for veterans, for all Virginians, particularly in areas like healthcare. And we're really excited to make that happen.
All right, so tell us about what resources you're going to put, what CVA is going to put into the Nick Freitas for Delegate write-in campaign, which is tough to do. I know he's got to spend a lot of money to do that. What resources are you guys going to put in?
Well, first, he has the full support of both Concerned Veterans for America and Americans for Prosperity in our combined grassroots army in Virginia. We have hundreds of activists across the Commonwealth that are going to be making phone calls, knocking on people's doors, and engaging their neighbors about issues, but in this case about Nick Freitas. And we're very serious about building these policy coalitions. So that's also going to include things like targeted mail, online ads, things like that.
All right. So give us an update on what Concerned Veterans America, other than supporting Nick Freitas, his write-in campaign for delegate in the Culpeper area. What else are you guys doing? What else have you been involved with, Nate, in Virginia? Give me an update.
Yeah. So one of the policy areas unique to Virginia that we've seen, and this is something that Delegate Freitas has been active on, is the fight to reform Certificate of Public Need law in the state. And for listeners who aren't totally clear on what that is, Certificate of Public Need law is a state law that unnecessarily restricts public access to healthcare across the state. It basically says that if I'm a healthcare provider, I need to get a permission slip from the state to build a hospital in this community. And as a veterans organization, we've seen this play out at a big level, and that's the Department of Veterans Affairs. We understand what it's like to live in a healthcare system where the bureaucracy can call the shots for when you get your health care, where you can go to get your health care. And it's very restrictive. It doesn't make people's lives better. In fact, it makes it worse. And that's one of the big reasons where we saw Nick Freitas leading in Virginia and why we've decided to endorse him. And so that's been one of our major initiatives in the recent past.
How does getting rid of Certificate for Public Need help veterans?
That's a good question. Well, with the passage of the VA Mission Act, which was passed about a year and a half ago and just implemented this year, it expands access to health care for veterans to community care. So if I'm eligible as a veteran, I'm able to take my benefits and go to the doctor down the street instead of the VA hospital 2 hours away.
Right.
And as veterans get increased access to hospitals and clinics in their community, the certificate of public need laws are going to restrict their access in that way, just like it restricts access to all Virginians. And
Right.
so this is affecting veterans as well as all Virginians, just the same.
So one of the arguments against getting rid of certificate of public need, and why I'm skeptical of it, is look, we're all for free market, but free market means people want to make money, right? So here's what happens. Hospitals have to take in indigent care patients, right? Reagan signed this law back in the 80s. I go into an emergency room. I'm sick. I have no money. I have no cash. I have no insurance. I have nothing. They have to take me, treat me, release me. I pay nothing. Okay? It is what it is. So we're not really operating in a free market anyway. So now here's the problem. You get rid of COPN, and then care facilities come in to rural areas, and they offer only the most high-margin, profitable services, things like scanning and things of that nature. And so that's money they take away from the rural hospitals because they're on the edge. They simply go in there, cherry-pick the best services. They don't offer the services the hospitals have to offer. They only offer the most profitable services. They cherry-pick those. Rah-rah, they make money, and the rural hospital goes out of business because they're on a different playing field. So the argument for COPN is like, well, we need a free market system. Well, we don't have one because hospitals can't say, sorry, can't come here. No money, no insurance, so we can't afford to treat you. So that's the problem that I always see with getting rid of COPN.
Well, I think if you see it play out, and this is actually a law that was just repealed in the state of Florida, and we're going to see it make a difference. But when you allow the market to decide where those hospitals go in, the market's going to give signals. And if a clinic is not going to be, if a clinic's just not going to be serving the population that it's in, that clinic's going to get those market signals pretty quickly. And this is something that it's allowing the market to make those decisions instead of the government. And
but
that's been the restrictive problem that we've had so far.
Nate, there's no free market when the hospitals are forced to offer all the services, many of them that are not profitable. So there's no free market. So what you do is you create a free market only for those that can become profitable, and the entity that is stuck doing the low margin or under cost work or getting Medicaid at 20 cents, 50 cents on the dollar, their business. That's why until you can fix the whole thing, COP sounds great, free market. Hey, we're all for that. In reality, there's hospitals in rural America. When you get rid of COPN, they have simply gone out of business. And then what happens, right? Then people have to drive 2 and 3 hours. So, look, I'm suspect of it, but I do really appreciate your endorsement of Nick Freitas. He's a great guy, and I think he's going to win big, even as a write-in. And thank you, Nate, for being with us, and thank you for the time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, John, thank you for having me. And if listeners want to learn more about Concerned Veterans for America, they can go to our website, cv4a.org.
cv4a.org.